New Braunfels, Schertz, Cibolo, Garden Ridge all look great on paper, but when you compare them side by side, one of them clearly stands out. I've compared the price, the schools, the inventory, and the safety to these towns that are 15-20 minutes from San Antonio, and it's very different, and you have to watch out what you buy in this area. If you're looking for top-rated schools, low taxes, these 4 towns are exactly where you should be looking. And also, I'll explain quiet luxury and what it means later. I'm Trey Serrano with the Cavalry Group, and I'm the worst realtor in San Antonio because I cut the sales fluff and give you the truth. Northeast side inventory surges here in this corridor as buyers have the upper hand. So inventory levels are at 58% from pre-COVID levels. And what happened was you have home prices that skyrocketed during COVID, and then it leveled off, having about a 15 to 20% decrease in price when the rates went up. So the more inventory we have, the better deals there are. With this cool down that's happening on the northeast side and along with other parts of the city, sellers are really willing to get creative and just serving anything that the buyers want. And this is where incentives can get really creative and really big when people are looking into homes that are on the market that have been sitting, or if it's new construction and it's inventory homes, but they will give you the Josh and anything that the buyers want just to get their home sold. Homes are being drastically reduced in price, and when the market changes, there's an optimal time to get something to where you can sell it later. And with higher demand and when the inventory gets a little tighter, that's where you can really cash out some savings and get a ton of home equity on the home that you purchase. There is also nothing in this cup. 10% of homeowners are actually selling at a loss right now. And that's because the market has pivoted to where they were bought in the wrong areas or they paid too much for the house. And this is where the key factor of knowing the inventory and knowing what neighborhoods are going to be the best potential equity so you can get in and get out even if you absolutely have to. But the key thing is the research is everything. First 3 I'm going to talk about is Schertz, Cibolo, and New Braunfels. New Braunfels has a 20% increase in inventory where you can strategically move and not be rushed into the house that you want. So you have plenty to choose from and you don't have to be rushed to buy something because of the higher inventory levels. However, luxury buyers in New Braunfels are here to stay. There's been a 6% increase in the prices in the luxury space for clients that have bought in New Braunfels. And what that means is stability in this market. In 78130 and 78132 are 2 of the areas that have appreciated over this time, even in this market. According to Redfin, Schertz is a seller's market. However, I disagree. Schertz has always been the iron horse of our areas with a median home price of $390,000 with a 12% appreciation year over year. This has been an area with not as much luxury, but also it doesn't have a lot of lower priced homes, so there's not a lot of movement. And it's perfectly positioned as the largest suburb of San Antonio, right between San Antonio and New Braunfels. It's also very convenient to get on the highway, both 35, and it's also in 3 different counties. Cibolo, whatever you want to call it, has a very different outlook on these 4 towns. Cibolo has a median home price of $330,000, and it actually tanked in home values at below 12% year over year. Now, the reasoning for that could be a few factors, but in my opinion, I think it was the overdevelopment of these areas with small lots. And also, if you're in the area and you know 1103, it is a effing nightmare to go through in and out of those areas. Now, the saving grace to Cibolo is the school district. Even though it only has a B-rated school, the amount of culture and love that the town has for its schools, it has 16,000 students and a massive campus in Cibolo. This may be an opportune time to invest in Cibolo because of how low the year-over-year prices are, or it may be the worst investment that you can possibly make according to my crystal ball. Which one is the best? It all depends on your goal. Here are my thoughts on all 3. So you have Schertz, which is probably the closest to San Antonio. It's a very commuter-friendly area, and it has a higher rated school. However, it doesn't have a downtown. Cibolo does have a really unique downtown and a very cool vibe. It also has a lot of sense of community from what I've seen and what we've helped move private clients to. And New Braunfels is very separated. So you have the downtown, you have the luxurious areas, and then you have an oversupply area, which is closer to McQueeney Lake, and those areas are gonna be all different. Remember when I mentioned quiet luxury? To me, what that means is when you have a very beautiful home on an acre, lower tax rate, so you can afford more in an area that is not really talked about, and that is Garden Ridge. Garden Ridge, Texas used to be part of San Antonio, and when they annexed themselves out, they basically wanted to create their own town and didn't want the diplomatic efforts that San Antonio was headed. So this is Garden Ridge, Texas, and here you can find areas that are in the city of Garden Ridge, which has a higher tax rate, or you can be outside of the city limits and be in a much quieter sense of area where you can afford more and have more land and even sacrifice some of the house. There's different options, but the key thing here is the inventory is very tight. There's not a lot of new homes for sale, and on top of that, there's not a lot of pre-existing homes for sale. You're probably thinking, Trey, how do I compare these towns and villages and communities to what is gonna fit for me? And I would say, that's why I'm here. My team and I will definitely help you compare all of these towns and villages around you so you can maximize what opportunities you have. And you don't have to be in a position where you move right away, because in this market, there's an oversupply in general and there's an under demand. So it's a great opportunity to take your time planning this move, and we can obviously help you. Some of the downsides to Garden Ridge is there's actually a rock quarry, and it's near the Edwards Aquifer, which supplies the water to the San Antonio and the surrounding areas. But the rock quarry you can actually hear and feel in some parts of Garden Ridge. So I actually had dinner with a council person in Garden Ridge, and they said they're trying to pass things like having a go-kart available to ride through the town, to go to homes, maybe to go to the gas station to get some things. And even that is hard to pass because the residents and city council don't like a lot of development. So if that's something that you like, this may be the place. But if it's not something you like and you want more amenities and you want a lot of developments coming to you so you have more options, this may not be it. Let's talk about the quality of life comparison with crime and schools. So Garden Ridge is actually leading, according to statistics, at 0.8 per thousand people for violent crime. You have New Braunfels at a shocking 1.8 per thousand people. You have Cibolo, which is only 1.1 per thousand people. And then you have Schertz at a 1.2 of violent crime. And the schools are gonna be Garden Ridge and New Braunfels, a B+ rating. Then you have Schertz and Cibolo at a B rating, which is pretty close. If you're looking to move to the San Antonio area, we would love to be the realtors of choice. And if you're not ready to reach out yet, we have content that we can send you on a Google Drive. Just reach out and we can send you home tours that are not available for everybody. And also, if you want to check out our local content, check out my Instagram or my TikTok, where I go around different areas and developments to let you know what's changing around our areas. And also, I'm not a YouTuber. I don't love YouTube, but it does attract me to clients that I want to work with. So if you can, reach out and I'd love to connect with you.